Okay, mutations in DNA. So last week you learned with protein synthesis, we did step 1, which is transcription, and that's where you learned how to take the DNA code and pair it with mRNA because DNA can't leave the nucleus. So mRNA has to make a copy of the code in DNA to take it outside the nucleus. So step 1 was transcription, where this is what we did last Friday. Transcription is simply in the nucleus, and it's where mRNA copies DNA. That's a real simple working definition. Translation happens in the ribosome, and that's where the mRNA is translated into amino acids, and it does that by codons. So 3 bases equal a codon. So last week we divided mRNA into codons, and we learned how to read the codon chart to tell what the amino acid is. So this is what we did Friday, and then we labeled this because here we're in the ribosome, and you can see tRNA is making the codons, they're chunked into 3s, and it's translating it into amino acids, and the amino acids then are making the protein. So understanding that is important to understanding today's lab and to do the quiz. So up at the top is the DNA simulation button. You want to push that. Okay. And then what we're doing here is in this box, you're writing the string of amino acids. So this box is representative of a protein. So you want to go to the simulation. Let me get it. There we go. And it is not popping up. Let's see here. Hold on a sec. There we go. Okay. I need to pause. Okay, so on Friday, I asked you to play with the buttons, and so you would learn what everything does. Here is a strand of DNA. If it's DNA, that means we are in the nucleus. Okay, and so we want to know what protein that this strand of DNA is coded for. So you hit start. Makes sense? You want to start. So DNA separates. And so the red is mRNA, and mRNA is making a copy. This is transcription. So it's doing the base pairs. It's not identical, it's what is the pair. And notice that A is with U in mRNA. Okay, then it leaves the transcribed mRNA, leaves the nucleus and goes to the ribosome. Here comes your tRNA, chunked into codons, and up top you see the production of the amino acids. So there you just saw a chemical bond formed. As the next one comes, a bond forms between the first one, and that string of amino acids is building the protein. Proteins are synthesized in the ribosome. Okay, so here's where it gets to number 3. Now it's jiggly and it's kind of hard to see, so like the directions say, hit stop. And you're going to start from MET, because if you look in your codon chart, that's also the start codon. So you are going to start at MET and write each amino acid in order until you get to LEU. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so this is where on number 3, you put an amino acid in each square, and that's your protein. So just like number 4 says, where it says edit DNA, you're going to go back and hit edit DNA. Bam. Okay, and it asked you to change the first codon to A. Oops, I thought I had T highlighted. A. Okay, so you're changing. It had the first codon, you're changing it to AAA. You hit apply, and then you're going to start the model again. Okay, hold on. Let's reset. Let me check. Okay, you want to hit reset. Change this to AA, hit apply. Now go to start. And you'll notice in the DNA, it says AAA. Okay, so transcription is going on. This is in the nucleus, so the red line represents mRNA. Once it's finished, it leaves the nucleus. mRNA then goes out of the nucleus through the cytoplasm to the ribosome, and that is the ribosome right there. tRNA comes up, and the anticodons hook up with the codons. And then they're translating the codon into an amino acid, okay? So you want to do that, and then I'll hit stop. Okay, let's go back. And so to answer this question, compare the new protein you made to this protein. Okay, so when it says describe how this protein changed, tell if there was a change in the amino acid. Because we just spent the last 6 weeks learning that the monomer for proteins is amino acids. And if you change the order of the amino acids, you change the protein. So when you're describing the change, tell what the change in amino acids were. And so before you hit each new one, you want to hit reset. Okay? So that's how you do 5, 6, and 7 the same way. Now, when you come down here, number 8 is referring to what you did in number 5. Number 9 is referring to what you did in number 6, and 10 is what you did in number 7. So the order of the analysis, here's where they're actually giving you the scientific term for what you just saw. So all you need to do is go up here to describe what happened and describe what a point mutation is. Okay. Okay, so number 8 through 10, you're going to copy and paste in last Friday's assignment in Canvas. And so after you do that, today you're going to do the mutations quiz, which of course is in your quiz section. Okay, so you're doing exactly what you just did in the simulation. So we're starting with the original DNA. It doesn't do any good because it's stuck in the nucleus. So you need to transcribe it, just like the simulation did. So you're going to put the mRNA bases in the turquoise teal box. So that's transcription, where mRNA duplicates the code from DNA, okay? Once you've done that, then now you have mRNA, you need to translate it, which means you need to chunk in your teal, chunk it into the codons, just like we did last week. So 1, 2, 3 / 1, 2, 3 / 1, 2, 3 / to get your codons. Then once you have your codons, go down to your codon table that I put here for you and write what the amino acids are. That's how you translate. You go from codons to amino acids. Transcription is where mRNA pairs with the original DNA. So once you do that, oh, and there is one thing I do need you to change. On the second one, I was a big goober. Change that T on the second one to a U. Okay, so this is the strand that you just transcribed and translated that has a mutation. Okay, so first, look at it, compare the mutated strand to the original strand of RNA. So you're going to compare it to this box. Okay, and then tell me, is it a substitution? Is it an insertion? So substitution, just like when there's a sub for a teacher, I leave and a new person comes in. So it's a swap out. Insertion, something new is stuck in. We're not deleting anything. All the same pairs are all the same, base nitrogenous bases are there. You're adding a new one. And then deletion is where something's cut out. Okay? So that's what you put here in translation. You're taking these. So your first step, 1, 2, 3 / 1, 2, 3 / 1, 2, 3. Then go down to your codon chart and translate. So that's how to do the lab and how to do your quiz. You're applying what we did last week. And tomorrow is a quiz on 6C. All right. Good luck decoding, translating, and transcribing.